Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Disney's Polynesian Resort to have dinner at Ohana. They have just reopened the other day from their COVID closure, and we're gonna head upstairs and review dinner. As you guys can probably tell, my voice is shot. It is gone. So this is going to be a voiceover episode. I'm very, very sorry. Over the course of today, my voice has just blah, and it hurts to talk. It's hurting me right now to do this. Anyways, let's go ahead, head upstairs, try this new menu, and let you guys know what Ohana is like in 2021 post-COVID-19. Hey guys, future Adrian here. I am editing this about a week later after I finally have gotten my voice back. As you guys can probably tell, it's not quite at 100% yet, but it is enough for me to work with to edit this video. So our reservation for Ohana was at about 8:45 in the evening. This was just before the fireworks presentation at the Magic Kingdom, Happily Ever After. So you're going to be seeing a little bit of that later on in the video. We got to the Polynesian Resort just a little bit early today just so that we can get some of this B-roll footage for you guys and just enjoy the overall atmosphere of the Polynesian Resort, as it is my favorite resort on Disney property. It's honestly really beautiful, and you can't beat the smell of the Polynesian Resort itself. If you've ever been there, then you know. You walk inside that building and the smell just hits you like a ton of bricks, and you just feel at home. It is honestly a true paradise. So let's head on upstairs over to the Ohana restaurant. We're gonna walk on through here, and we've got to walk right past the main grill area where they grill everything as far as the meat and the chicken is concerned, and we were lucky enough to get a window seat with a kind of obscured view of the castle, but we knew that this was going to offer us a perfect view of the fireworks presentation when they started at about 9:15. So we could look out there, get a nice look at the pool area, and scrolling on over here, you can get a good look at my beautiful girlfriend Coda rocking those ears that we got from Aulani. So we also had, as usual, a QR code to scan to access the dinner menu. We're going to come on over here. Ohana dinner pricing, $55 per adult plus tax and gratuity, and $33 per child. It's an all-you-care-to-enjoy dinner, starting off with a mixed green salad with Ohana, coconut papaya scones, and cheddar bacon biscuits, the honey coriander chicken wings, pork dumplings tossed in garlic chili sauce, and the Ohana dinner skillet, which comes with wood-fire grilled teriyaki beef, island shrimp casserole with herbed breadcrumbs, roasted 8-way chicken with Polynesian-inspired chimichurri sauce, kielbasa sausage, Ohana noodles, and roasted broccolini. And of course, to finish things off, we get the famous Ohana bread pudding. They also have a plant-based menu as well, with rolls, mixed green salad, wonton chips with hummus, and a plant-based dinner skillet. You can read through that as well. Here are non-alcoholic specialties: Kona Source coffee, Moana smoothie, a Lilo smoothie, a Stitch smoothie, and a specialty character drink. And we're also going to take a quick look at the allergy-friendly menu. Not going to read through that. You guys are going to be able to pause the video at your own leisure and read what they have to offer, because as you guys can see, there is quite a bit to go through over there. So starting off, we had our mixed green salad over there, nothing too special about that, and we started off with our bread course, which of course has the cheddar biscuits and the coconut bread. Visually, it looked really, really nice. However, the biggest problem was it came out to us and the bread was cold. All of it was cold, so we're gonna get to that in just a little bit. You can see me pouring that sauce over the salad, and that sauce in the salad was actually pretty tasty, I'm not gonna lie. So I cut open the cheddar biscuit, and it was very cold and very stale, and it wasn't really that good at all, so we had that sent back. So we ended up getting the Pina Colada alcoholic beverage. I forgot exactly how much it was, but this was actually a really tasty drink. It had a hint of raspberry in it as well, which is the red coloring that you saw. It was actually really, really tasty. I enjoyed it, and Coda really enjoyed it as well. Not too much longer after that, we got our dumplings and our chicken wings, and I gotta say, those wings were actually really, really tasty, and the dumplings, I couldn't put those things down. As I mentioned earlier, we did ask for another plate of bread because the previous plate that we got was cold, and I cracked open these cheddar biscuits and they were nice and warm, and you can tell that they were very fresh, so that always gets a thumbs up from me. We were also pleasantly surprised. We weren't expecting to see the electrical water pageant, but I mean, I don't know what else we expected. We're dining on the Seven Seas Lagoon, so we looked out and we were pleasantly surprised to see the electrical water pageant. So you guys are getting a great look at that right now as we speak. And of course, to end things off, they have the salute to all nations but mostly America segment. Now I'm going to pause the video right here on this cross cross section of the coconut bread. It actually surprised me. I'm typically not a fan of coconut, but this bread really surprised me. It was really sweet, but not overly sweet, and it was really tasty. We tried it with the butter that they gave us, and overall, I had no complaints about this bread. It was actually really good. If you like coconut, then you're going to be a fan of this. So next up came the main course. This is what everyone's been talking about. There is your first look at the shrimp casserole, and we have our noodle bowl with broccolini, the chicken, and the kielbasa. Now, I will say I was quite disappointed that they didn't give us a bigger portion of noodles. I would have liked to see the noodles in their own little tray, but it was still quite a big helping. It's quite deceiving in the video, but I promise you it is a decent portion. And if you finish off whatever you have in your skillet, you can of course always ask for more. And last but not least, with the dinner service, we got our steak. So here is a quick look at the steak. I will say the steak I was not a fan of, and I am a huge carnivore, but you can see the cross section over here. The steak was a little bit undercooked on this one. If you're not a fan of steak that is more red than anything, then I would definitely try the thinner pieces, or of course just go and ask for the steak to be cooked a little bit more, or see if you can talk to your waiter and see if you can get your preference of cook in steak. I will say that steak was a little bit more on the red side than what I'm used to, but overall it was okay for me. But the steak was really tough, so just bear that in mind. Alright, so in the middle of the fireworks presentation, we decided to keep digging into our food. You can see that we have gotten a little bit of everything. And now I will say the biggest winners, of course, the noodles. The noodles are the biggest winner. You're going to Ohana for those noodles, and if they had gotten rid of the noodles and they had stuck by their decision to keep the noodles off the menu, then I don't see this restaurant surviving. This was a fan favorite dish and it lives up to the hype. It is the best thing on the menu. Now, as I said earlier, I wasn't that big of a fan of the steak. It was a little too tough for my taste. I'm a carnivore. I love steak, but I just wasn't a fan, and I didn't find myself going back for more helpings of the steak. Moving on over, we also have the shrimp casserole. Now, this was the biggest controversy among the Disney community when it was announced that Ohana was reopening with an altered menu. Everyone was hating on the shrimp casserole, but I will say it's not as bad as people make it out to be. It's honestly not. It's pretty tasty, but it's not the best thing in the world. On the very first day that Ohana reopened, I did see that some people who went were complaining that there wasn't enough shrimp in the shrimp casserole, but when Coda and I went there a couple days after the grand reopening, there was plenty of shrimp in the shrimp casserole. The sauce itself is not the tastiest. I feel like they rely heavily on the amount of Parmesan cheese and herbs that are on top of it, and you guys will know what I mean when you actually bite into it. I feel like they relied a little too heavily on that, but by no means is it as bad as people make it out to be. I was actually pleasantly surprised because my expectations were fairly low. You know, guys, it's always been a bucket list thing for me to do to watch the fireworks from the Magic Kingdom at Ohana, and I gotta say, it was a very pleasant experience. They dimmed the lights in there, they pumped in the music nice and loud, and everything was in sync, and it was absolutely perfect. I loved it, and if you guys are lucky enough to get a window seat, then you are definitely going to enjoy your experience at Ohana while watching the fireworks. So, last but not least, we had the famous Ohana bread pudding. Now, it's been a few years since I've been to Ohana last, but I think they added pineapple. I can't remember if they had pineapple in the bread pudding before, but either way, the pineapple bread pudding was really good. Coda and I actually couldn't finish it because we were so full. We wanted to finish every bit of it, but guys, I have to say this, you need to save room for this bread pudding. It is absolutely worth it. All right, so here is a look at our receipt. We had the pina colada at $13, an adult dinner times 2 came out to $110, with the amount total being $131, and then it gives our suggested tip over there. There's a look at Coda, who is absolutely full. She could not finish her pineapple bread pudding. It was so good. We handed off our annual pass over to our server, and we got a 10% off AP discount, which took off $11. So for 2 people for Ohana, it came out to $119.28. And as we walked out, we got one last look at the grill as they were grilling things. I'm not entirely sure if they cook all the meats the same exact way. Again, I don't know if there's a way to request to your server how you want your meat cooked, but I definitely recommend doing that if you want your meat a particular way. Taking one last look over here, we were definitely one of the last few guys in there. Again, our reservation was at 8:45, and the last reservation that they took was at 10, so we were leaving a little after 10 o'clock. I'd say it was about 10:15. All right, guys, well, that is going to do it for for this Ohana review video. I know it's not the typical meal review that you guys are used to seeing on the channel. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, my voice was shot and I was unable to talk at all during this meal, and it tore me up inside not being able to do a proper video for you guys. But I do hope that this video was helpful. I saw a lot of people online giving Ohana mixed reviews, specifically for the shrimp casserole, and I do have to say, I think that they reduced the price for Ohana. I can't entirely remember. I'll be sure to put it in the video if I have what the price was previously, but I honestly still think that Ohana is worth your time and money. It is still a fantastic restaurant, and unfortunately we did lose the shrimp skewers, but I do think that everything else that you know and love about Ohana is still there. And just take my word for it, fill up on those noodles. Everyone goes to Ohana for those noodles, and that is worth the price of admission alone. Those noodles, fill up on those noodles, guys. I cannot stress that enough. I honestly do think that it is still worth it for you guys to visit Ohana if you liked everything that you saw here, or if you enjoyed it in the past as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything you saw here down in the comments section below. If you guys have eaten at Ohana recently since the reopening, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below as well. I'd love to get a conversation going and to see what your honest opinions were of your meal from Ohana after the COVID reopening. Thank you guys once again so much for watching today's video. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, and evening, and I will see you guys in the next video.